Hello, welcome to another episode of Daily Market Mastery with me, Christian Rauchenwald, on this mediocre Tuesday. I hope you all had a great start into the new week. As always, before we get into it, let's get the usual disclaimer out of the way first. Everything that I share in this live stream / video is my personal opinion and in no way financial or professional advice of any kind. You should always do your own research, consult certified professionals, draw your own conclusions, and make your own decisions. And besides that, all the tools that I'm using, so the broker, the charting software, the strategy I'm following, and so on, are all linked in the video description down below. And if you haven't done so, I really recommend that you check out the Elliott Wave principle, which you can read online for free when you're using the link in the description down below. And you can also use that link to get yourself a physical copy. Now, I'll just need a second. Well, actually, I don't. No, actually, I need a second to finish something up here. We can already jump here. You can see, well, yesterday we had a slightly red day or slightly red start into the day. Today we are actually starting slightly green, so it's kind of like making up exactly for what we dropped yesterday at market open. Yesterday actually finished green as well. Where do we start? So our positions, or my positions, didn't change in any way. So there are still the 5 covered GameStop calls that expire this Friday, for which we get around $50 in premium if or when we finish below $30 per share. If we go above that, my shares get called away, but they're still in profit, so that's fine, or break even, since we got them assigned through $30 put options. And then just a second, just finishing something up. So what do I need? I need cute. That should do the trick. And that should do the trick on the other side. Yeah. So so we have these $30 call options or covered calls against our shares, and on the other end we have, or additionally we have in Novavax a call that expires in January, and then we have our Leaps call that expires in January 2026 for Grab. We don't have much more. We also hold a bunch of shares in some of them are penny stock, some of them are like medium-sized companies that are kind of that are financed through the options premium that we earn by writing covered calls and cash secured puts. Now, so far, or that's that. Let's actually move on. Do I need anything of that? No, we don't need that. Starting with GameStop. So GameStop announced that they finished their at market share offering, and as a result, we had some push up move yesterday. If we zoom in a little closer, we can probably identify as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We looked at that yesterday. You can check out yesterday's episode as well, where we determined the rough profit targets for that 5th wave move. And we can see we reached or shot briefly through the secondary target for this wave 5 move, which means right now we are in a corrective pattern, or should be, to finish or to correct this entire move here. We should at least reach the 38.2 retracement, but I would assume that we actually retrace to 61.8 here in a ABC movement. And then we should technically get another 5 waves up, because even if we're in an overall downwards direction still, which I assume, then we still should get a corrective pattern, should be 5 waves, 3 waves, 5 waves, for example, which means there should then later be another push up before we continue a potential short-term further journey down. How high we get there, no idea. We'll just have to keep an eye on it. Overall, only, what options do we have here? There's also the consideration that we're actually done with the corrective pattern, in which case this would need to be somehow wave 1, wave 2, but I don't think that's likely, considering how visually clear this here is a 3-wave pattern and not a 5-wave pattern. So I think there's still some, at least sideways and again downwards movement to come, but we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. So Novavax, on the other hand, still or again starting slightly green. We're moving a little sideways. We're still waiting for confirmation to either get our triangle pattern, in which case we would expect a move that brings us a little bit below that line here before we go further up, or stronger upwards movement to confirm that we actually finished wave 4 down here and that we are already in the next impulsive wave up, which is possible. It could be that this is wave 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So we would be in the third wave, of a third wave, of a third wave, of a fifth wave. In which case we should see some stronger movement in the next couple of days. Either way, since our option is till January, we should be quite good here. Yeah, so that's that about Novavax. Now, Barnes & Noble Educational, yeah, continuing down. So we broke the 61.8 expansion level already yesterday, and so therefore we have to assume that we're now in the 1, 2, 3, 4 and wave 5 push. That potentially might get us down to 830, 840, where we would then mark most likely the end of this corrective pattern and then resume the upwards journey further. CrowdStrike, yeah, I said there is a little bit more upwards movement, but overall there is another corrective wave that's missing, unless it's somehow hidden in here, but I don't think that's the case. In my opinion, we have 5 waves down right now, developing 3 waves up, and then we'll get another 5 waves down. Yeah, so I'll have to keep an eye on that and see how that works out. And then moving on, GameStop we have, Grab, yeah, I mean, it's still moving sideways. We will see if this is indeed correct. So in my assumption, this might be wave 1, 2, and now we are labeling subwaves. Technically, this could also turn out as a triangle pattern, considering how it's developing here, but then it would be A, B, C, D, E. So that would be the last wave of the triangle if that's the case, and we should now get our push up. Either way, I expect upwards movement over the next couple of months. Yeah, we'll see just how far this can go, or if I'm wrong and we're going down. Immersion, yeah, still in the area where we're waiting, so 61.8% retracement area. We are basically waiting for either way a strong push down to point out that the correction pattern isn't finished, or a reasonable push up to point out that we indeed finished a 3-wave corrective pattern here and are now in our next impulsive wave up. No, let's give it a chance to load today. Usually we are not waiting long enough for it to finish loading. Where are you actually? Okay, okay. So yeah, let's see if it manages to load and we get a chart, because the last couple of streams it didn't, and so it would be nice from time to time to actually look at how the chart changed, although we're looking at a weekly chart still. Well, will we get to see it or not? That's the big question here, yeah. Wait, I need that. Pause that. Well, it doesn't seem to load, so we skip it. Costs, yeah, so same or similar to immersion. So we are waiting for either a push a little bit lower to kind of like point out that the correction indeed hasn't finished on the 50% retracement, or a noticeable push up to point out, okay, the correction is officially over and we are officially in the next 5-wave impulse move upwards. NEO also pushing strong, so correction didn't go as far as we thought. We retraced the minimum of 38.2%, which marks this the end of the retracement, and which points out, so we have here 1, 2, wave 3, for a change not terminating at one of the usual levels. We don't need, oh no, that was the other one. So up, wave 3 terminating at a 2618 expansion level. So if we look here, wave 1, 2, then that's wave 3, wave 4, and now we are in the process of wave 5. That wave 5 target area is up here, and it overlaps with the wave 3 target area. Oh. Now come on, with the wave 3 target area here in the $7 mark, which means there should be for the next couple of weeks still some upside, like 20% or a little bit more into the area here, close to $7 per share. We'll have to wait and see if it happens. Let's actually check for NEO real quick if there is some affordable options that we could get. Yeah, so we could get for that's November 15th. I'm actually going to check on the other side, 1 second. Option strat. So our assumption is that NEO will reach 674, and that it will happen by, so here we have August 8th till, so 1 month, and here we have September, almost 1 month, so in 1 month from now, so by the end of October, so 1st of November. And so the best play would be, yeah, it's like, doesn't even pay out that big, would be just to get the 550 call for 1st of November, 5. So if we buy that one, yeah, payout is not really that great. If we think longer, then this would be our wave 3 target, and then from here we get our wave 4 and then our wave 5. So okay, we're gonna stay out of this, so but based on the pattern, so because based on the options, it seems that it's not, might not be worth it, but overall we can see a clear 1, 2, 3 unfinished. So in here 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we should get here in wave 3 and then get wave 4 and wave 5. So there's still yeah, getting shares actually might make sense. So although we cannot afford too many, NEO, if we buy another 5 shares, so not too many, but buy 5 shares, averaging up a little bit, mid, submit, there we go. So we increased our NEO position slightly at least, so we profit from the way up further. And yeah, so that's NEO. Moving on, Novavax we already looked at. NVIDIA, there was also, I mean, NVIDIA, Nasdaq, and so on, they all look similar right now. There's still a little bit of a push up that I expect to get here into the target area. We don't need that. We need the wave 5 target areas, so those here. So there should still be a little bit room up, especially now that we visually might have finished an ABC correction here. This might be 1, 2, followed by a strong push for wave 3, 4, 5 to get us to 128. Potentially in this movement even higher than the 100% target. So like just like we saw in GameStop, where we also spiked through. So maybe a little higher, but overall that would be where I would start to consider getting out of the position. Yeah, so SMCI, yeah, there it looks like we might slowly get our confirmation. I've already been saying it for a couple of days now, actually since last week. Yeah, we're on a 3-day chart since last week already, or the week before that, that since we have multiple forecasted areas that overlap here, don't need that anymore. So here the 61.8 target area overlaps with this 61.8 target area, overlaps with the 161.8 target area that we get from this pattern. That is the most likely turnaround point here. We should expect stronger upwards movement from here, or not stronger, but upwards movement in general. Now there is a decent upside of potentially like 200-300%, but the downside is obviously also big. So the risk reward ratio is not as great as it, for example, in my opinion, is in Novavax, but still interesting to follow the pattern. Yeah, SPY, similar like the NASDAQ, so still a little bit room up to finish this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we will get the next corrective pattern, and NASDAQ to finish up today's stream. I know it's a little bit short on the shorter side, but I also, again, have a lot of other things on my to-do list for today. So yeah, so same thing, 1, 2, 3, maybe not finished, 4, 5. So there's still a little bit of upside, but again, then we will get another corrective pattern similar to this one. And therefore, going in long right now doesn't make much sense in my opinion. I think we will turn around here at 20,700. That would be the overlap of the 100% target area and the, oh no, that 20618. Unless that's 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that doesn't make sense. So that can go. Okay, so no additional confirmation for the 20,700 level, but I still think that that's roughly the maximum that we can reach here. This way we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, finish 5 waves up, and then we get a next A, B, C corrective pattern before we then continue our journey. And that's actually it for now. So like, I mean, it's going to be interesting to watch. Ideally, we see GameStop going up a little bit, but below 30 or maybe above 30, so the shares get called away. I can realize the premium, and we are a little bit more flexible with what we have to do. Either way, I would welcome more volatility in GameStop, ideally to the upside, of course, to increase the premiums that we can earn.